The charmer does not advance. He draws you in. Where others rely on intensity, sexuality, or mystery, the charmer chooses a quieter weapon: comfort. His seduction begins the moment you feel understood. Not admired, not chased. Understood. In his presence, your defenses soften without you noticing. You breathe easier. You speak more freely. You feel, perhaps for the first time in a long while, that someone is truly listening. This is not accidental. The charmer's genius lies in redirecting attention away from himself and placing it squarely on you. He studies not how to impress, but how to receive. He asks questions that invite confession. He reacts in ways that validate. He reflects your emotions back with warmth and precision. Around him, you feel more interesting, more articulate, more alive. And because human beings are irresistibly drawn to those who make them feel this way, attraction takes root effortlessly. The charmer never competes. He never dominates the room. He does not interrupt, boast, or demand recognition. Instead, he creates an emotional space where others shine. This makes him feel safe, and safety is seductive. In a world full of pressure, performance, and judgment, his presence feels like relief. You associate him with ease, pleasure, and emotional reward. Slowly, subtly, you begin to crave that feeling. The charmer understands vanity not as arrogance, but as vulnerability. Everyone wants to feel seen. Everyone wants reassurance that they matter. He supplies this need generously but selectively. His attention feels personal, not indiscriminate. When he compliments, it is never generic. He notices details others overlook: a shift in mood, a change in tone, and in spoken tension. His observations feel intimate, almost psychic. This creates trust, and trust opens the door to influence. The charmer listens to pain without trying to fix it. He does not correct emotions or minimize them. He validates first. This validation is intoxicating. You feel accepted exactly as you are. Around him, you don't need to impress, you can simply be. And in that permission, attachment forms. You begin to associate emotional safety with his presence. When he is near, you feel better about yourself. When he is absent, something feels off. This is the core of his power. And like the coquette, who withholds to create longing, the charmer gives, but what he gives is emotional nourishment. He feeds self-esteem, confidence, and belonging. And because these needs are deep and often unmet, the bond forms quickly and quietly. You may not even recognize it as seduction. It feels like friendship, like chemistry, like coincidence, but it is none of those things. The charmer adapts effortlessly. He senses moods and adjusts tone. With one person, he is playful and light. With another, thoughtful and reflective. With another, gently reassuring. This adaptability makes everyone feel uniquely understood. No one feels like just another audience. Everyone feels chosen. And yet, he never reveals himself fully. This is crucial. He deflects attention gracefully. When praised, he redirects. When questioned deeply, he keeps answers open-ended. You know how he makes you feel, but you never quite grasp who he is. This asymmetry keeps curiosity alive. You lean forward emotionally, wanting to know more, wanting to give back the understanding he has offered you so freely. But he does not ask. He waits. Over time, you begin to open more than you intended. You share fears, doubts, desires. He receives them without judgment, storing them carefully. Each confession strengthens the bond. Each moment of being seen deepens dependency. You feel lighter after speaking with him, as if emotional weight has been lifted. That relief becomes addictive. This is seduction without urgency, without pressure, without touch. And that is what makes it dangerous. The charmer's spell works because it feels benevolent. He seems kind, empathetic, generous. And often, he truly is. But kindness does not cancel influence. Comfort does not erase control. By the time attraction becomes conscious, the foundation is already set. You trust him. You enjoy him. You feel better in his presence. You want more of it. This is only the beginning. Once trust has been established, the charmer deepens his influence by doing something deceptively simple. He makes you feel chosen without ever claiming you. This is where his seduction moves from warmth into dependency, from comfort into quiet control. You do not feel conquered. You feel valued. And that distinction makes all the difference. The charmer understands that attention is the rarest currency in the modern world. Everyone is distracted, hurried, divided. When he gives you his attention, it feels deliberate, almost luxurious. He remembers what you said days ago. He recalls emotions you barely admitted to yourself. He notices patterns in your behavior and reflects them back gently, as if helping you understand yourself more clearly. In his presence, you feel coherent, seen, whole. This is not flattery. This is mirroring. He subtly aligns himself with your emotional rhythm. If you are excited, he amplifies it. If you are uncertain, he steadies it. If you are wounded, he softens it. You begin to feel emotionally regulated around him, calmer and brighter at the same time. Your nervous system associates him with relief. Without realizing it, you begin to seek him out not for desire, but for balance. This is where attachment forms. The charmer never overwhelms. He never pushes intimacy faster than you are ready to receive it. In fact, he often slows things down. He creates the illusion that you are leading, that emotional closeness is your idea. This makes the bond feel authentic, mutual, chosen. You trust it because it does not feel rushed or forced. But beneath this calm surface, something is shifting. He begins to shape how you see yourself. Through subtle reinforcement, he highlights your best qualities. Not exaggerated praise, but precise recognition. He compliments how you think, how you feel, how you perceive the world. These affirmations land deeper than surface-level admiration. They touch identity. You start to internalize his perception of you. You feel more confident, more desirable, more emotionally intelligent around him. And because these feelings emerge in his presence, they become linked to him. The charmer also knows when to step back. After moments of closeness, he creates space, not coldness, but room. This allows you to miss him, to notice his absence, to realize how much lighter you felt when he was near. This absence is gentle, almost respectful. It does not provoke anxiety immediately, it provokes reflection. And reflection deepens attachment. You begin to think about him when he is not there. You replay conversations. You anticipate the next interaction. He has become part of your inner world. And like the coquette, who fuels desire through frustration, the charmer fuels it through emotional reward. He does not destabilize you, he centers you. And that centering becomes irreplaceable. Others may excite you, impress you, even desire you, but they do not make you feel as understood, as comfortable, as quietly affirmed. This creates a powerful imbalance. You begin to offer more than he does. More emotional openness, more availability, more effort. Not because he asked, but because you want to maintain the bond. You fear losing the ease he provides. You want to keep feeling like the best version of yourself. And still, he does not claim you. This is essential. By remaining slightly undefined, the charmer preserves leverage. He feels emotionally intimate yet socially ambiguous. You are close, but not labeled. Connected, but not fixed. This ambiguity keeps curiosity alive and prevents complacency. You cannot relax into certainty, you must remain attentive. The charmer also avoids overt desire. If attraction exists, it is implied rather than stated. This makes you wonder, do you want him or do you want how he makes you feel? The line blurs. Emotional closeness begins to feel intimate, even sensual, without physical escalation. Desire grows sideways, quietly, deeply. And because nothing overt has happened, there is nothing to resist. The most dangerous thing about the charmer is that he never appears dangerous. He seems sincere, empathetic, even selfless. And often, he believes he is. But intent is not required for influence. Affect is enough. By the time you realize how deeply you care, how much his presence matters, how significantly he has shaped your emotional state, it feels too late to step back without loss. You would lose not just him, but the version of yourself that exists around him. This is the middle stage of the charmer's spell, the point where comfort becomes attachment, where validation becomes need, where ease becomes dependence, and the charmer is still only warming up. By now, the charmer's presence is no longer optional, it is regulating. He has become the emotional climate rather than a passing influence. You do not merely enjoy his company, you function better within it. Your confidence steadies, your mood softens, your sense of self feels affirmed and expanded. This is the point at which charm transcends attraction and becomes authority. The charmer never claims this authority openly. That would trigger resistance. Instead, he lets you grant it willingly. He becomes the person you check yourself against, the one whose reactions matter most. When something good happens, you want to tell him. When something painful arises, you imagine how he would respond. His voice begins to live inside your head, calm, affirming, reassuring. This internalization is the true mark of his success. He no longer needs to be present to influence you. You carry him with you. What makes this power so effective is its gentleness. The charmer does not dominate your thoughts with intensity or urgency. He weaves himself into your emotional habits. He becomes associated with equilibrium, with emotional safety, with feeling understood without explanation. In contrast, the rest of the world begins to feel louder, harsher, more demanding. Interactions elsewhere require effort. With him, everything flows. This contrast sharpens attachment. At this stage, the charmer subtly begins to shape perception. He reframes situations in ways that favor his influence. When you doubt yourself, he reassures you, but in a way that subtly positions his perspective as grounding. When you feel conflicted, he listens patiently, then offers insight that feels wise, balanced, reasonable. Over time, you begin to trust his judgment more than your own, not because he insists but because he seems consistently right. He never gives orders. He offers understanding. He never pressures. He suggests. He never corrects directly. He reframes gently. And because his interventions feel supportive rather than controlling, you welcome them. The charmer also knows how to create emotional exclusivity without isolation. He does not discourage other relationships. He simply becomes the most emotionally satisfying one. Others may be present, but they feel less attuned, less safe, less rewarding. You notice that conversations with him leave you energized, while others drain you. This imbalance quietly elevates him above the rest. You begin to prioritize him without deciding to. He also introduces subtle scarcity, not through withdrawal, but through selectivity. He does not always make himself available. When he does engage, his attention feels focused and intentional. This creates value. You sense that his presence is a gift, not a constant. And because he never demands your time, you offer it freely. The most refined aspect of his seduction is how he handles vulnerability. When you reveal something raw, fear, shame, insecurity, he does not rush to reassure. He sits with it. He validates without minimizing. This restraint deepens trust. You feel safe being imperfect around him. You feel accepted without performance. And acceptance, when rare, is more seductive than desire. Yet even here, he maintains distance. You know him emotionally but not completely. He shares selectively, enough to feel real, but not enough to feel exposed. This asymmetry keeps curiosity alive. You want to know him as deeply as he knows you. You want to give back the understanding he has offered so freely. This desire to reciprocate pulls you closer, even as he remains steady and unhurried. Now, the bond feels meaningful. You might tell yourself this is not seduction. It feels too calm, too respectful, too mutual. And that is precisely the charmer's advantage. His influence thrives beneath awareness. You do not feel overtaken, you feel aligned. You do not feel manipulated, you feel supported. But make no mistake, dependence has formed. Your emotional state now responds to his presence and absence. When he is near, you feel affirmed. When he is distant, something feels slightly off. Not dramatic pain, just a quiet imbalance. You begin to seek restoration through him. His words soothe. His attention centers. His approval matters. This is where the charmer becomes indispensable. And yet, he still does not escalate. He does not rush toward commitment or possession. He allows the bond to deepen organically. This patience convinces you of sincerity. You trust him more because he seems to want nothing. But in wanting nothing, he has gained everything. Influence, loyalty, emotional access. By now, attraction is no longer about desire, it is about belonging. You feel that he understands you in a way few ever have. That losing him would mean losing a rare form of recognition. And so you protect the connection. You adapt. You stay open. You lean in. The charmer does not need to pull. You have already moved. In the final stage of the charmer's art, influence becomes invisible. There is no dramatic turn, no conquest, no moment that announces completion. Instead, the charmer's success reveals itself quietly in how natural his presence feels, and how disorienting his absence becomes. By now, he is not merely someone you like. He is someone your emotional system has learned to rely on. This is the charmer's ultimate achievement. He makes himself feel necessary without ever appearing demanding. He does this by stabilizing what the world destabilizes. Where others introduce pressure, comparison, urgency, or judgment, the charmer remains composed. He listens longer than expected. He reacts with patience when others rush. He absorbs emotional turbulence without amplifying it. Over time, this consistency builds a powerful association. When things feel uncertain, you turn toward him not because he asked, but because it feels right. And so, dependence completes itself. Not the crude kind, not obsession or desperation. This is refined dependence, the belief that clarity, comfort, and confidence are easier to access through him. His words carry weight. His reactions matter. His approval feels grounding. Even disagreement with him feels safer than agreement with others. He has become a reference point. The charmer never exploits this directly. That would shatter the spell. Instead, he maintains the illusion of equality, of mutual respect, of emotional fairness. He treats you well. He validates you. He does not threaten withdrawal. This is why his influence feels ethical, even benevolent. You trust him not to harm you, and that trust deepens his power. Now, something subtle shifts. The charmer allows himself to be missed. He does not vanish, but he becomes less constant. His attention arrives in measured doses. When he is present, he is fully engaged. When he is absent, he leaves behind emotional echoes and finished conversations. Half-formed thoughts, a lingering sense of warmth. This space is not cold. It is intentional. It invites longing without anxiety. You notice the difference immediately. Life feels slightly flatter without him. Conversations elsewhere lack depth. Emotional exchanges feel less satisfying. You begin to compare, not consciously at first, but instinctively. Others seem louder, less attuned, less precise. The charmer has recalibrated your emotional expectations. And still, he does not claim you. This restraint is what seals his influence. By refusing to force resolution, he preserves the bond's purity. You believe the connection exists because it is real, not because it was defined, labeled, or demanded. This belief makes it stronger. You protect it. You invest in it. You choose it repeatedly. At this stage, the charmer's presence has shaped your self-perception. You feel more confident, more articulate, more emotionally capable than before. You associate this growth with him. Losing him would not just be losing a person, it would feel like losing access to your best self. That is the quiet bind. Yet the charmer also pays a price. To maintain this role, he must remain composed, receptive, endlessly attuned. He cannot collapse into need without altering the dynamic. He cannot demand without breaking the illusion of generosity. His power depends on steadiness, on patience, on emotional discipline. Charm, at this level, is not play, it is responsibility. Some charmers eventually cross the line into manipulation, using their influence to control decisions, shape loyalties, or extract devotion. When they do, the spell decays. The comfort turns heavy. The safety feels conditional. The magic fades. The true charmer never crosses that line. He understands that the deepest seduction is not ownership, but gratitude. You feel thankful for how he makes you feel. Thankful for the ease, the understanding, the emotional refuge. And gratitude binds more strongly than desire ever could. In the end, the charmer leaves you better than he found you. More confident, more open, more aware of your emotional needs. And because of that, even if he exits your life, he remains influential. You seek his qualities in others. You crave the calm he provided. You measure emotional intelligence by the standard he set. This is his legacy. The charmer does not overwhelm. He does not dominate. He does not consume. He enriches, and in enriching, he binds. He proves that seduction does not require heat, mystery, or pursuit. It requires attention, validation, emotional precision, and the wisdom to let others feel powerful in your presence. That is charm at its highest form.